Hello, I'm Lloyd Peach with GTX Plumbing. I'm the master plumber here, and we have been extremely busy. Phone started ringing about 1 o'clock in the morning. They haven't stopped. So if you hear the phone ringing in the background, it's another one. But we had to take a little bit of time. We're saying the same thing so much that I wanted to create this video so that we could at least send a link and maybe help more people quicker. So on with the show. First thing I want to talk about is you need to know where and how to shut your water off. You've got two main water shutoffs that I need you to know about. One is out at the meter. You should have a homeowner's valve. If you don't, you're not really supposed to touch the city side of the meter if you have a meter key, but it's an emergency. I think they might understand. The other one is at your water heater itself. If you follow the pipe out of the right-hand side of your water heater as you're looking at it, what you'll see is there's a lever or a knob up there. Turning it clockwise should turn your water off. If it doesn't, especially if it's a round handle that's a gate valve, don't force that. Don't ever force a gate valve. If you have any other questions, you can give us a call at 512-688-7442 and we'll put you in queue, but I'm constantly answering the phones all day long. And we need to know where to shut the water off in case when we thaw these pipes, it starts a leak. We're going to need to be able to stop that leak. If it's on the hot water side, then we can shut it off the hot water. If it's on the cold water side, we're going to have to shut down everything. We just want to minimize damage to your house. Okay, we're going to start from the outside working in. Know where your homeowner valve and your PRV is, and you may want to open up those covers and put some insulation or something in there just to keep the cold out. This kind of cold does penetrate the ground, and it could be a real issue if those become a problem because you're going to need a plumber at that point. Now let's talk about what we call the first hose bib. On the corner of the house that's on the side, this is normal. This is everybody's house is built different, but normally on the corner of the house that is towards the meter or the pump, you have what's called the first hose bib. And a lot of times that will either tee off underground to go to the rest of your your hose bibs and your water distribution, anything that might be extraneous outside of your house, or it may come in, go up in the wall, go to that first hose bib and loop back down into the slab. Sometimes in pier and beams as well, houses that are built on pier and beams. But that is a major place where we're having frozen pipes, especially if it's in a garage, because we don't heat the garage here in Central Texas. We don't build houses to keep the heat in, we build houses to keep the heat out. So you may have to open up that drywall and defrost those pipes in there, either with radiant heat or a trick that I'm going to talk about here in a minute. Then from that point, the water should go straight to your water heater before it distributes to your house. Now, if the water heater is also in the garage, then underneath your water heater or in the wall behind your water heater, there's going to be a manifold or a T, and that's your major point of distribution. If it is a lot of places around here, they're built up on top of a shelf. A lot of times that's drywall underneath. Your manifold is probably up underneath that. It may be even in the wall behind that, but you're going to need to open that up and get some heat in there. But like I said, you can use a trick that I'm getting ready to talk about. They could also distribute to water your water faucets or your water softener if you have one. That's the first point that, especially if all that's in the garage, that's where we're getting a lot of problems right now. Again, you actually may have to open up the drywall to do this. You may not want to, I understand, but that may be necessary. If it busts, we're going to have to open up that drywall to fix it. We can't fix what we can't put our hands on. From there, let's talk about the water softener. If you have one, you need to keep it warm. If you have a heater that you can put on it, great. If you have an electric blanket that you can drape across it, let's give special attention to the head where the controls are, and the bypass valve and all of that. That's the main thing that you want to keep warm. The rest of it is important, but that is main thing. If we lose it there, then you're going to end up having to call a water softener company to come out and take care of that. We can loop it and bypass it manually if necessary. Your water also may go from there to the attic if your water heater is in the attic, and that wall going up to the attic, especially if it's an outside wall, you may need to open that up or get some heat onto that wall in order to take care of, in order to keep it from running. If you have any water running, keep it running until you have to shut it off, until there's damage being caused. Okay, secondly, let's make sure that all of your cabinets and closets are open. All of them. Okay, we don't know where the loops are, we don't know where the sub manifolds are, so let's make sure that all of those are open and they can get some heat in there. And then also, don't let it get below freezing in your attic. All right, even though your water heater itself isn't gonna freeze and bust, all of those pipes in the attic could, especially at this point. And if it starts getting windy, it's just happening. It's one of the things that, again, like I said, houses in Central Texas are not built to keep the heat in. The houses in Texas are built to keep the heat out. First order of business, we want to keep you safe and sanitary. So I want you to fill everything you can with water, especially a bathtub or large containers. You can use this to flush your toilets. You can take water from that, put it in your tank, and use that to flush your toilets. Remember the old adage, we're going to go to camping rules here. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. But we want to be able to take care of business there. Just because what you may end up having to shut your water down, or the city may actually, if their pipes start bursting, you may be without water. So let's take care of that. All right, be ready to shut your water off in case you have a leak at your water heater, if it's on the hot side, or out at the street or the main in case it's the cold side. And remember, you can fill your toilet tanks with water from the tub that you filled with water. Put that into the toilet tanks and you can use that to flush. Now, thawing tips, okay? Be ready to shut the water off. If you thaw it out and it starts really leaking, it starts causing damage, we want you to be able to shut your water off. Now, very simply, to thaw it out, you can open up all your cabinets, get some heat underneath there. You can use a hair dryer, a heater, a heating blanket, or there's an old plumbing trick that I'm getting ready to talk to you, okay, about. Now, the way that you do this old plumbing trick, to thaw your pipes, you have to remove the insulation from the pipe that you think is frozen. Wrap it tightly with a towel or rags or whatever you can, okay? Terry cloth towel works perfect for this. Wrap it tightly and then pour hot water onto that towel. Soak it. That is the best, fastest, easiest way to thaw a pipe. Now, if that pipe is frozen, there's a chance it's burst. Again, be ready to shut it down. But that is the best way for you to thaw a pipe yourself. Just soak it. Don't leave it there after it's thawed and your water's running. Unwrap that, get that wet towel off of there and put the insulation back on it, duct tape it or secure it. You can get your hot water from several different sources. If you still have electricity, a lot of people that I'm talking to do not have electricity. But if you have electricity or you have a gas stove, you can heat water there. You can also get it from your hot water tank. If you've been good about flushing your water heater out annually, then this should work. If not, we can try. And you do that, there's a boiler drain, what we call a boiler drain at the bottom. You can hook up a garden hose to it. You can take that and get water from there. Now, what you're going to end up with is basically vapor lock on the other side. So you're going to have to open up something, hot water valve that is still running to get water out there, if possible. If not, you can always pull the lever on your pressure relief valve, and that will let air into your tank. Make sure that your water heater is off. Either turn to vacation, or if it's electric, turn it off. Do not turn it back on until you've purged the air from the line, though. We do not want to dry fire your tanks and hurt them and cause issues. Leave your faucets open so you know when it's thawed that the water starts flowing. Now, let's talk about when to turn your water back on, okay? Around here in the hill country, we have a lot of hard water, so you have scale buildup. You don't want to just go from completely off to flying at first. You're going to take a lot of that scale is going to break off inside your water lines and get caught in your aerators. You can take those off and clean them out, but if we can prevent that, that's what we really want to do. Now, the correct amount of water, when they say dripping, I've heard everything from 5 drops every minute to whatever, but the truth of the matter is, from my perspective, that the correct amount of water to drip from your faucet is, you want to turn on a stream. It's going to be about a stream about the size of a pencil lead. At the bottom, when it just starts separating into droplets, that's the right amount of water to drip from your faucet. From the cold side, then you want to turn the hot side on to that same amount so that you have water dripping from both the hot and the cold. I do understand that that's a lot of water. We talked about water softeners, keeping them warm, the blankets and stuff at the top. So let's talk about outside hose bibs. I'm not a big fan of dripping the hose bibs outside. You need to keep them insulated, let the heat from inside the house radiate out, and to keep those warm, you want to wrap them in towels, plastic bags, keep them warm, keep them dry. If you have one of those protectors that you can buy at the hardware store, put those on over a rag that you've already used. That's the primo, is to wrap it with a rag and then to put that on there and keep it warm and dry. The garage and the attic, you want to open up your doors to the garage. Don't open up your garage door. As a matter of fact, you might want to put some blankets or something on your garage door to keep the heat from going outside. But you do want to open up and keep your garage heated. Also, because of the way we insulate here, we don't let the heat from the house go up into the attic. So you might need to open up a hatch or your steps going into your attic, so that it's not freezing up there. That has become a problem because there's water distribution if your water heater's in your attic. All right, other than that, if any of these tips have helped you, then make sure that you text. Don't call today. We're getting killed with calls. But text Sharon at 512-688-7442. Let her know that these tips and tricks have helped you. We'll send you a GTX Plumbing Hero Sticker, put you on our wall. Thank you. We have got plenty to do. So hopefully this has helped. Until then, be sanitary, be safe, and be blessed. Peace.